Hi, students. I'm making a new lecture to replace yesterday's because we had some technical malfunctions and you couldn't see the screen as I was lecturing yesterday in class. So I want to make sure that you all understand what you need to do for this assignment. And so let me just share my data sheet from yesterday if I can. Let's see. Okay, so I'll try to share that, and I don't want that. I want the Excel spreadsheet. So let's just see if we can see that on my screen. Okay. Now, I asked students yesterday, what is your age at first memory? And they gave me some replies on that. I also asked them, how many siblings do you have? And they gave me replies on that. And then, what is your life satisfaction on a scale from 1 through 7? So we have three variables here. And we need to calculate the mean, the median, and the mode for each of these columns. Okay, so how do we calculate the mean here? We're going to add up all these scores, age at first memory, and then we're going to divide by the number of scores. So if I'm doing this by hand, it's going to be equals 4 plus 6 plus 7 plus 3 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 3. And then we're going to divide that 38 by 3, 6, 7, 8 scores, right? So what is 38 divided by 8 scores? And that's going to be the mean. All right, the mean is 4.75 there. All right, and the median, how do we get the median? We take the middle number of the set. And so we arrange the scores from smallest to largest. We have a 3, a 3, a 4. Let's see, what do we have? 3 5s, 5, 5, 5. And then we have 6 and a 7. All right, is that 8 scores? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, okay. Now, the formula, as you will see in your PowerPoint for this week, is n plus 1 divided by 2. All right. So we have 8 scores plus 1 is 9. Divided by 2 is 4.5. So we're going to move over 4.5 spaces to find the median. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4.5. That would be these two scores, 5 and 5, right? And then we would divide by 2. And so 10 divided by 2 is 5. So the median score here is 5. All right. The mode score is going to be the most frequent number in this set. It looks like we have 3 5s, right? And so the mode of this set, let me get these numbers out of the way. Hang on just a minute. I'm going to cut that and put it down here. That's just for calculation purposes, right? The mode of this set is 5. Okay, so we have the mean is 4.75, the median is 5, and the mode is 5. Okay. I'm going to check my work now in SPSS. So I'm going to open SPSS. Down here, you see two tabs, data view and variable view. I'm going to click on variable view first because I want to name the variable. All right, it's age at first memory, right? And that's all in one word because SPSS won't let you put spaces between words, okay, when we name a variable. Now, I'm going back to my Excel spreadsheet here, and I'm just going to copy all these numbers here, just the numbers, and then I'll go back to SPSS and I will paste those numbers right here. Okay, so they show up there. Do you see that? All right, now I'm going to click on Analyze tab up here. I'm going to go Descriptive Statistics, Frequencies, and then I'm going to put this variable name in the variable box, so I click it over with this arrow, okay? Now we need to click the Statistics button, and you can see right up here it says Central Tendency, right? So I want to have all measures of central tendency, the mean, the median, and the mode, okay? And then I'll click Continue after I check those boxes. And then I'm going to click OK, and let's see the results and see if they match up to what we just hand calculated, right? We have 8 scores. It's showing here the mean is 4.75. Is that what we calculated on this? It looks like, yeah, 4.75 is a mean. And then the median and mode are both 5. Let me go back to the output and check that. We have a 5 for the median and a 5 for the mode. So we've done this correctly, okay? Now, if this was a homework problem, what I would do is I would copy this output, okay, and I'd paste it into a Word document. And then I'd go back to my Excel spreadsheet and I would copy all this that I've done, showing how I calculated the median and the mean. I guess here I would put 38 divided by 8 scores, right? And that's the way I would get the mean. So I'll put that in parentheses, right? And then I'll just copy this and paste it also into my Word document to show that I've done this by hand as well. All right. A second thing that I taught yesterday was something called dispersion, okay? We're going to do dispersion with siblings, the siblings column. Now, what is dispersion? It's how spread out the scores are from the central data point, okay? In order to calculate that, we need to first talk about what is the range of scores in this column, okay? It looks like the lowest number in this column is 0. So number of siblings range from 0 to the maximum score, which is 10. All right, so here I'm going to say range is 0 to 10. Okay, so we calculated range. Now, the next calculation we need to make is called the variance. And that's kind of the standardized measure of spread that we have. So I'm going to copy and paste my column over here. And then I am going to find the mean first of these scores. So I'm going to write mean. And then I need to add up all the numbers and divide by the number of scores again, right? So 2 plus 6 is 8, plus 1 is 9, plus 2 is 11, plus 3 is 14, plus 10 is 24, plus 2 is 26. So it's going to be 26 divided by the number of scores, right? So we've got 3, 6, 7, 8 scores. And so I'm going to figure out what is 26 divided by 8. And that's going to be the mean, okay? All right, so 3.25 should be the mean. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Now, after we get the mean, the formula for variance is going to be the score, which is x, minus the mean, which is m, and we're going to find the result of that. So the score here for the first person is 2 minus 3.25 equals, okay? So the x minus m, we need to figure that out, right? I'm just going to use Excel to calculate this. Equals 2 minus 3.25, and the result is negative 1.25, and you can check that on your calculators at home. The next score is going to be a 6 minus 3.25. Let's get the result of that. Equals 6 minus 3.25. I'm sorry. 6 minus 3.25. And the result is 2.75. You can check that on your calculator again. The next score is 1 minus 3.25. I'm going to do the calculation. 1 minus 3.25 here in Excel. And I get negative 2.25. Is that right? Okay. The next score is 0 minus 3.25. I'm going to check that here. And it's negative 3.25. Okay. The next one is the score, which is 2 minus the mean. Score minus mean. And that equals negative 1.25. The next one is score is 3 minus the mean is 3.25 equals 3 minus 3.25, and we get negative 0.25. The next one, the score is 10. This person had 10 siblings, minus the mean, which is 3.25, and we should get 6.75 there. And then the last one is 2 minus 3.25, and we get negative 1.25 here, okay? Now, the next step in the calculation of variance is going to be score minus mean squared, okay? So we're going to square each of these scores that we just calculated to get a result, okay? Now, if I had a calculator with me, which I don't, I would just take negative 1.25 and square it on my scientific calculator, right? But we know in order to square a number, you just multiply it by itself. So I'm going to go equals negative 1.25 times negative 1.25. It should be a positive number like that, okay? So there's that. Now the next 2.75 squared. I'm just going to multiply 2.75. And is that right? Is it 7.5625? Okay. I'm just going to continue with all these numbers, negative 0.2 or 2.25 times negative 2.25, and that's 5.0625. Is that right? The next one is negative 3.25 times negative 3.25, and I get this result. All right, I've already calculated this one once, so I'm just going to copy this and paste it here for this result. This one is going to be negative 0.25 times negative 0.25, and I get this result, okay? This one is going to be 6.75 times 6.75 to square it. And then this one is same as the first result up here, so I'll just copy and paste it here. Okay, so now we have all the squared results, right? The next thing we need to do is get the numerator in the equation. So that means we're going to add up all of these scores here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit equals sum of these numbers and click enter. It's 73.5. I hope this is right. And then I'm going to type in denominator. Now the formula for the denominator is n minus 1. Isn't that right? We have 8 scores minus 1, and that should equal 7. So now I'm just going to type in the word variance. I'm going to take the numerator divided by the denominator. Oh, I spelled that right. I wrote deminator or something. It's denominator. Okay. I think I got it right that time, maybe. I'm going to take 73.5 and divide it by 7. That should be the variance. If it's not, I'll have to redo this whole thing, right? Now, the third measure of dispersion is going to be something called the standard deviation, okay? I will need a calculator for this because I need to find the square root of 10.5. So you take the square root of variance. All right, let me pull out a calculator here. I've got one in my office. Let's see, I need the scientific calculator. Here it is. Okay. I'm going to take 10.5 and click on square root and hit equals. Wait a minute, that's wrong. I'm going to go square root of 10.5 equals, and I get 3.24037,034 92039. Okay, that's a big long number, isn't it? But we should confirm these numbers by using SPSS again, okay? So let's see if we're all right in our calculations. I'm going to pull up wait, I'm going to copy the number of siblings, which is what we're calculating here. So I'm going to hit Control Copy on my keyboard. I'm going to go back to SPSS, close out the former output from the last problem. All right, let's do this again. I'm going to name the variable siblings. Siblings, okay? So I'm going to put that in a second column here. And then I'm going to go to data view and I'm going to paste in those numbers that I copied, okay? Now, I'm going to go up here, click Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Frequencies again, okay? Click on that. Then I'm going to remove age at first memory because we're not dealing with that variable. We're dealing with siblings. So I'm going to click on that, move it into the variable box with my arrow. I'm going to click on statistics, and this time I not only want central tendency checked, mean, median, and mode, but I also want to check standard deviation, variance, and range down here in the measures of dispersion. Do you see that? Then I'm going to click continue and okay, and let's just confirm the numbers that we calculated are correct. All right, so we calculated a 3.25, I believe, for the mean. Isn't that right? 3.25. Yep, that's what we have right here, the mean. Now let's check the variance. I have 10.5, and the variance here is 10.5. Isn't that magic? Okay. It's just showing the range is 10, but it's actually 0 to 10. It's the minimum number minus the maximum number. And I did write this in my notes that or no, I didn't, did I? I didn't write the range here. The range is, well, I wrote it over here, 0 to 10, but I'll just write it again just to make sure I have it in my notes. Okay. Now here I calculated a 3.2524 for the standard deviation, and it looks like 3.24 is correct for standard deviation. Okay, so I've confirmed that all my hand calculations were correct. I should have done a hand calculation for median and mode, but I didn't, and I'll need to add that to my Excel spreadsheet, right? But at least I can copy this little table and paste it into a Word document, and then I can go to Excel and I can copy all of this as my by hand calculations, copy that and paste it into a Word document, and I'm done with that problem. Okay. Now, all of you can calculate mean, median, and mode, range, variance, and standard deviation for this last problem satisfaction if you want to. Okay. Just for practice. But I think I've covered everything I need to cover in just a short time, showing you how you can do your homework for this week. Okay. All right. That's all for today. And I hope that this helps you understand, the homework that you're supposed to do. It's due on Sunday night by 11:59 p.m. Okay. And that is all. Thank you very much for listening.